You're entering the wind tunnel. No spin, no bull, all jab. Wind Tunnel is brought to you by
Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR.
Here is your host, Jack Arute.
Hey, welcome back to the Wind Tunnel. I hope that over the course of this episode, you'll meet a couple of guests that you may have never heard from, as well as a young driver who finds himself hip deep in the chase for his very first championship. IndyCar driver Alex Palou was one of the very first guests on this series. You heard about his 2021 outlook as the newest member of Chip Ganassi's IndyCar operation. Well, this time, Alex and I talk about his season so far, which finds him atop the IndyCar Championship Standings with 6 races left on the season. Recently, NASCAR was selected by Sports Business Journal as the 2020 Sports League of the Year after they literally wrote the manual for all sports in their hopes of returning to action during the COVID-19 pandemic. NASCAR's Senior Vice President of Strategic Development, Ben Kennedy, visits, and he and I talk about the award as well as NASCAR's future direction. Rick Pannell has been racing late models at Kingsport Speedway for more than 25 years. He's never won a race, and in fact, over those 2 decades plus, he has led only 1 lap. But Pannell takes center stage in this week's Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap segment for an accomplishment that spotlights his incredible short track racing passion. And in this week's Storytime segment, I'll share with you a personal saga that rivals John Candy's movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And while NASCAR and IndyCar found themselves on an Olympic hiatus this weekend, there still was plenty of racing action. And that means we need to fire up this week's Wind Tunnel news and notes. As I said, there was an abundance of racing action this past weekend, and it's centered around America's short tracks. Here's Performance Racing Network's At the Track host, Lenny Batigny.
Thanks a lot, Jack. This is your NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series Racing Report. We'll start out in Canada at Autodrome Chaudière. Steve Cote, the winner. Ethan Cornier got the win at Sunset. Langley Speedway in Virginia, Hampton Heat to Josh Berry. Ryan Matthews, the winner at Dominion. In New York at Bethel, it was Ed Dockenhausen. Kyle Soper, the winner at Riverhead. And at Claremont, that was Ben Poland in Victory Lane. Wisconsin at Cedar Lake to Jesse Glenn. Steve Bachman in Overdrive at La Crosse. Madison to Carl Dykoff. Gunnar Martin got the win in Missouri at Central Missouri. Colorado National to Alex Rodriguez. Steve Boer won at Coos Bay. Evergreen Speedway in Washington, a big win to Owen Riddle, while Craig Van Doren was getting the win at Grandview in Pennsylvania. Greenville Pickens, Ryan Walker, and Randy Porter split the wins in South Carolina, while at North Carolina at Bowman Gray, Tim Brown and Danny Bone were doing the same. Thomas Bean won at Hickory, and at Wake County it was Chris Lamb. Kyle Bronson and Jordan Grabowski winners in Nebraska at I-80, while the concrete jungle at Kingsport, Tennessee went to Nick Williams. Nick Bidinger won at Kansas's Lakeside Speedway, while at Salina it was Danny Holt. George Helliwell got the win in New Hampshire at Hudson. Lee USA to Brian Kruzik, and Todd Patnone the winner at Monadnock. Seekonk to Vinny Arenato, while Brian Fries and John Fanopoulos took wins at Meridian in Idaho. Florida, New Smyrna to Bobby Holly and Johnny Robinson, the checkers at Rockford, Illinois. That's your NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series Racing Report. Thanks a lot for having us on, Jack. We'll see you next time.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
I'm Kyle Rickey from MRN Radio, the voice of NASCAR. They are the foundation of American motorsports. the launching pad for racing's future. Time now for the Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap, brought to you by the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, driving local racing and local communities forward.
My Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap guest this week has never been to Victory Lane at his beloved Kingsport Speedway in Tennessee. He's Rick Pannell, and earlier this season, though, he set a record that in many ways, and in my opinion, exemplifies the true passion of short track racing. You see, on June 4th, Rick took the green flag in his 200th consecutive Kingsport feature event, and he joins me now. Rick, you are indeed one of the Iron Man. I can't call you the total Iron Man because the late, great Jack Ingram is the one that really holds that title, but you've really been at it for a while, man.
Yes, sir. We've had a pretty good run. It's took 10 and a half years to get to this. And Robert Presley came over in 2011, rented the track for 3 years and got the place opened back up after it had been closed for 9 years. And when I heard about the track reopening, I was fortunate enough to still have all my stuff in my garage, all my tools, equipment, trucks, trailers, everything like that, including the race car. And we pulled it out of the garage and dusted it off and went right back to racing.
When I say you're passionate about racing at Kingsport, can you help my listeners understand what that passion is like for a 60-year-old such as yourself?
Well, I've been going to the track since the mid 60s. Not exactly sure when I was at my first race, but I know it opened up in around 65. And my dad especially was a big race fan. We never went to any of the big races other than the ones that they did have at Kingsport. 70 and 71, there was 3 races run there. Richard Petty won 2 of them, and Bobby Isaacs won the other one. And it's just been a lifelong passion. I was never able to really own my own car or anything like that. And then in 1997, I went and bought an old car out of Coburn, Virginia, where there was also another racetrack. And I bought an $1,100 car, built my own engine, put some stuff out of my garage together, and went up there and raced and ran in the limited late models that year and finished 3rd in the points and in 1998. And it started there, and we ran that car till the end of the 2000 season. And I was able to buy the car that I currently have.
Old Yeller, right? Old Yeller.
Old Yeller. And it's a good one. It was in 198 of those 200 starts. There was a couple of times that I had engine problems that I couldn't get corrected on one of them. And then we broke at the racetrack one night, and one of the other competitors loaned me a car to keep my record going.
You know, that's an aspect that unless you attend weekly short track racing, you may not be able to appreciate that does go on inside the pit area. You may beat and bang and root and gouge out on the racetrack, but when a fellow competitor needs help, they're there to assist you. And that's a great story in order to keep that 200 consecutive runs going.
It is. It's a huge family thing. I've got friends that I've known since the old dirt days. Kingsport has transformed 3 different times. It was dirt originally, and then in 69 or 70, it was paved. It was a very high banked oval, really fast. And then somewhere in the 80s, it went back to dirt. The track was ran by different promoters and stuff. I actually, in 1993, I took the leap and decided I wanted to try to be a track promoter.
How'd that work out?
Well, not too good. It was a very expensive learning lesson. But I found out that those drivers do have the love and the passion, and they will be there to support you if they think you're supporting them. And right now, short track racing's took a big hit. If it's not a big money race or something like that, it just seems like they don't want to come out. And I said in an interview I done a few weeks ago that the racetrack don't need 20 fast cars. It just needs 20 cars. Some of the best racing that I've ever done with anybody was for 13th place. I've had more fun doing that. There are people that, since I have raced with them, I've kind of stayed at the same level of competitiveness and all that stuff. through my career, just because I just simply don't have the budget, but I do love it. And I want to try to stay out there to help support the track. But some of those guys have went on to bigger and better things around the racetrack and gotten faster. And I had a guy that he actually won a feature at Kingsport a couple of 3 weeks ago. And he come back over and told me right before that, within a week or two before he won that race. And he said, this is almost not fun anymore. And he said, some of the most fun I ever had was when me and you used to go out there and swap spots 15 times in a 60-lap race. And that was actually more fun than me racing and trying to race for a top 5 or a top 3 or even a win. And again, like I say, he was fortunate enough to get a win the other day, his first of his career after about 10 years. And it's an exciting thing. I know I'm probably never going to win a race, not in my own equipment anyway. I've always said I think I have the ability to go just as fast as anybody, but I don't know how I would handle it in the top 3. If I got up there and I can handle the rubbing, I can handle the race, and that's all well and good, but I don't know if I would be able to handle the pressure.
I like what you said, Rick. It is the racing back in 13th, back in 18th. It is probably more intense because of the fact that it's a purer form of racing. You may not have the best tires. You may not have the latest front clip. You may not have all those things that, as the late, great Banjo Matthews always said, money buys speed, just how fast you want to go. So it becomes more of a mano, driver to driver tussle with some pretty high horsepower late models.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And I'm running an old conventional built motor small block Chevrolet. NASCAR has kind of pushed those to the side. They want everybody to go to the upgrade motor, go to a Harrington, go to a Ford crate. And I mean, it's not even in my budget to do the upgrade. But now when we come off the corner, those guys with that X amount of dollars in a Harrington, they have to pass me going into the corner or in the middle of the corner, because there's very few of them that can drive around me on the straightaway. And I just have an old stock, or not a stock, but a 355 small block Chevrolet with, good bow tie heads. And I'm still running a 502 barrel, which I could run a 394 barrel, but I just do what I do. And I've ran some of the fastest laps this year that I've ever ran in my life. And just really good.
Your story is just, it's so amazing. And yet it is so typical, Rick, of what I think is the backbone to the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series. There's a certain significance to the number 33. Tell my listeners in Wind Tunnel about that. Just
back years ago when I got started watching NASCAR Cup racing, it was back in the old Winston Cup days, and Harry Gant was always my favorite. I always pulled for Harry Gant, and he had a big history at Kingsport as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
There and a bunch of races at Kingsport. And I've been to his steakhouse. I've been over there in Taylorsville and visited around that area. And, it was just a cool deal. And there was no doubt when I bought my first car what number it was going to be. I think the second or third year I raced, I was still running the old car in the limited division, but I talked to the track and I said, well, I'd like to run the late model races too. So they said, okay, no problem. So that'll help us with our car count. As long as you've got your license, no problem. So I was running 3 races a night, and you could buy 4 tires at the time. And there was 2 teams that was feeding me tires. All their old tires that they took off that had 75 or 100 laps on them, I was getting all those. I was getting all their air filters. I was getting all their spark plugs. And I was servicing my car and keeping my car up basically on what they were just going to push off and put in the trash. And I kept it going. And that was the first year that I realized that you don't have to buy tires every week for me to run the speeds that I could run. I'm always 2, 3, 4 tenths slower during the race. I'm usually out qualified by about 3/4 of a second, if not more. But occasionally I'll step up and pull off a good lap. And the furthest up I ever started in a true late model race, I started 5th. in one that was actually my qualifying position. And I was on 4 tires that probably had 200 laps on them.
Amazing.
He else was on 4 new tires. And I borrowed a carburetor right before the race off of another competitor. And he ended up sitting on the pole, and I started 5th. And I was about a 10th and a half off of what he run on 200 lap tires. But I just do it because I love it. It is a low budget deal for me. I couldn't tell you the last time. It's probably been 35 to 40 races since I freshened my engine up, but I did put a different set of heads on it at the end of the year last year, and that really helped it a lot.
Well, listen, now through the wind tunnel, America knows about Old Yeller, the 33, and the new Ironman 2.0. Rick, I appreciate your visiting with us. Continued success. Look, I hesitate to ask you this, but when are you going to hang it up?
A lot of people have asked me around the racetrack. I mean, I'm certainly going to try to run out through the end of this year for sure. As long as I don't crash out hard, tear the car up really bad. It is a 25 to 26-year-old race car.
By the way, you realize that in some states you can get antique plates for a 25-year-old car.
Exactly.
So
yeah. As long as I don't have, like a catastrophic engine failure or something like that, to where it just gets beyond the value of it for me to do. I do have a few sponsors that help me a little bit. And part of that commitment is, I've always told them, I said, I will be on the track every lap that I can be.
Wow.
And I had a guy that would give me $50 every time I got a top 10. The first year, he only had to pay me 3 times. The second year, he had to pay me 11 times. And I said,
wow,
well, a little better, and I'm getting a little better tires. I'm, doing a little this, a little that. And I'm spending money to make it get up there. And he's like, man, I don't know if I can keep affording to paying to, I can't do that. And I said, man, you can afford it. Trust me. It's getting good advice, getting good attention. When I had the track, we talked about, and I've talked about it with the promoters now, Karen over there, Karen Pannell, and the Stiltners, they own the racetrack. And we talked about it, and I said, it's all about putting people in the grandstands. The year I had the racetrack, at the end of the year, we figured up each night how many cars we had. We totaled that up. And if each car had to put 2 to 3 people in the grandstands, I would have broke even. Every driver down there, I know they want their fans to come, but they need to be bringing new fans in.
No question.
We have a thing tomorrow night. We are meeting with a Girl Scout troop that's got 8 people in, 8 kids in it, 8 little girls, and they're going to come up and meet me at the racetrack, and they're going to get to watch practice, and they're going to get to sit in the car and get pictures taken. And I've got the track to give them some free passes. Their parents will get in free on Friday night. We're just wanting to put some new faces in the grandstands. And here in Kingsport, community has about 50,000 people in it. And there are people that live 2 or 3 miles away from this racetrack that do not even realize that it's there. And we just want to put the word out that place is open, and that's the best money you'll spend on a Friday night.
There is no question, my friend, anytime that you can go to a short track with your family, with friends, it is the best that money can buy. Rick, continued success. I appreciate visiting with you, and keep Old Yeller running on the straight and narrow, okay?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Jack.
Be sure to join us again next week for another trip to racing's grassroots with the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap. Brought to you by the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, advancing the next generation of drivers and champions. I'm Kyle Rickey from the Motor Racing Network.
Talking to Rick Pannell about his consecutive starts record at the Concrete Jungle Kingsport Speedway got me to thinking about my racing Ironman moment.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
With apologies to Rocky and Bullwinkle, it's time for Wind Tunnel Stories. Not fractured, and certainly not fairy tales. Instead, they're stories collected during my 50 years in racing. In 2008, CART and the IRL had laid down their differences, and finally, IndyCar was reunified. There would be, for the first time in more than a dozen years, one organization and one schedule. But there had to be one final split weekend, and that was April 19th and 20th. That weekend, there would be two IndyCar points-paying events, one in Motegi, Japan, and the other in Long Beach, California. It would be the final event under the CART banner. I was the only TV announcer on site at the Japan event. You see, Marty Reed, Scott Goodyear, and the rest were in Long Beach and called the Japan race off a satellite feed. Seeing that Japan was scheduled for Saturday and Long Beach on Sunday, and taking into account the time difference, there was no issue getting me back in time to cover the Long Beach race after Saturday's Honda Japan 300. But rain forced the Japan race over to Sunday, and it looked like I would have to miss the Long Beach show. But overnight, I hatched a way to actually still do both. It would be tight, very, very tight, but it was doable thanks to the 13-hour Japan-California time differential. You see, I could catch a flight and, barring any delays, make it to Long Beach's Toyota Grand Prix. That April 20th made IndyCar history, not because of my Trans-Pacific trek, but due to Danica Patrick's victory at Motegi.
1.5 miles to go for Danica Patrick and the Motorola team. Could history be made at Twin Ring Motegi? Down the backstretch for one more time. Does she have enough fuel to get around the final two corners? Into turns 3 and 4. Danica Patrick coming out of 4, and boys, move over. The lady is coming through. Danica Patrick wins at Twin Ring Motegi.
Her team used fuel strategy to score the win, and while the world reacted to her historic victory, I was doing my version of the John Candy movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. As soon as we went off the air in Motegi, I hopped on a helicopter with some of Chip Ganassi's crew and headed to Tokyo's Narita Airport. I boarded a flight bound to LA from Tokyo, still in my fire suit, and after changing once the plane was in the air, settled in for a 10-hour plus flight. Wheels Up, though, was delayed for more than an hour, and that put this mythical double into jeopardy. Once we landed at LAX, though, I got the news that our TV production manager, Rob Grant, had commandeered a helicopter to ferry me to the track. The double was actually going to happen after all. That's when the chase went into high gear. I cleared customs, sprinted to the top of the terminal's parking garage, and boarded a helicopter bound for Long Beach. While in the air, I squeezed into my ESPN fire suit, and when we landed atop a high-rise building just outside the track, I was ready for that final sprint. A police car sped me to the track and actually deposited me on pit road. The audio team hooked me up, and my longtime friend and pit assist, Denny Stewart, handed me the pre-race format. We were 2 minutes from going on the air, and while Denny let the production truck know that I was boots on the ground and ready, I started off for my first interview, Paul Tracy. As we went on the air, I arrived at Tracy's car, and I cannot describe the look on PT's face when he saw me. He sputtered, "Jack, you're supposed to be in Japan. I just watched you this morning."
Here he comes down Shoreline Drive for the final time, and there is your winner, Will Power at Long Beach.
Will Power won that race driving for Kevin Kalkoven and officially became the very last driver to win a championship auto racing team's event. That night, as I red-eyed my way home, I did so with the knowledge that it would be very unlikely that anyone would ever be able to duplicate this double.
Only now you know the rest of the story.
We're hitting the brakes, but we'll be back on track after this. Coming up next.
Long run. Palou now starts to pop to the outside. Alex Palou has the door shut by Elio Castroneves.
5 to go. You know what to do here.
A dogfight to the end. Alex Palou works into the high side of the start finish.
2 to go.
Here it comes.
Continue to run on your bumper, on your bumper, on your bumper, outside.
That is bold.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with advanced same day and get your part with same day pickup in store, same day curbside, or same day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participate in CarQuest locations. See store for details.
When Alex Palou took over, the consensus was, okay, we knew he's good. He's not ready to compete for a championship. Today, I think we might be learning something different. Alex Palou has been consistent virtually every single weekend.
Hey guys, this is Alex Palou, and you're listening to Jack Arut's Wind Tunnel.
Amazing.
Wow, amazing. That's going to be $2 a year.
Well, early on in the Wind Tunnel series, I visited with my next guest, but since then, he has backed up his Barber victory to become one of only 2 drivers that have scored double victories in the season. We're talking about the NTT Data Ganassi Racing pilot, Alex Palou. Alex, welcome back to the Wind Tunnel. Man, you're having a hell of a season. You're on top in the points.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's always fun to be here with you. We had a really strong season so far. Been learning a lot, been having lots of fun, really good races, 2 wins and a couple of podiums. So I'm really happy with my new team, with all my crew at the number 10 NTT Data Honda car, and feeling strong. So we'll try and fight for this championship for sure.
When you have that level of confidence, and look, whether it's in IndyCar or in some of the other formulas that you've competed in, when you're happy with the crew, when you're happy with your results, when you're basically happy with your life, how does that make you a better driver, Alex?
Yeah, I think it's not only in sports or I think it's everybody in life. And if you're happy, you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better person. You're going to enjoy more. You're going to work more. And to be honest, one thing I always been happy. I think I'm a really lucky guy, just because I'm able to do what I do. I'm living my dream, but I think I found something else, something extra. It's not that I'm just happy living the dream. I have a family at Chip Ganassi Racing. Not only my crew, I think with everybody there, I really like the passion they have for the sport. I really like how they work so hard to keep up performing so well. And in between my crew, man, it's amazing. I love every single guy. I try and spend as much time as possible with them, with my engineers as well. And I think we having a good connection. I don't know how long that's gonna be for, if it's gonna be for only 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, who knows? But at the moment, I think we are in a really good spot where everything works. They work so hard. They give me really good cars, and on pit stops they perform like unbelievably high. So I'm super confident and super happy to be part of it.
You talk about that passion within the Ganassi Racing operation. It's been there for so many years. It accounts for the championships that Scott Dixon has won. I think it accounts for the way that you have fit in, because it runs in parallel with what your racecraft is. But when you feed off of that passion, does that increase the pressure upon you? Because you're the point guy, all right? You're the guy that's getting all the accolades, but also if something doesn't quite work out, you're the one that the announcer comes to and asks what happened. Is that a certain kind of pressure for you?
I would say it's kind of the opposite, right? Like we don't have to do extra job now. Like till now, we've been the best so far, just because we have more points. So we have more room for having some stuff. I know that there's gonna be stuff that's gonna happen from now till the end of the season. So having those extra points, that's going to help us, but we still need to win. We need to win. I mean, being in the points lead doesn't mean like you can relax or you can get more errors. You have to win, and you have to keep performing there. But I don't think it adds up pressure. It helps me mentally to know that we've been doing so well and that we're doing a good job. It's like we have the confidence that we can do it. Like, we can do it. We are able to do it as a team. And I think it helps the guys too. Like, and we know that we've been really good. They've been the best. Like, my crew have been the best. So I think that helps them too.
Scott Dixon has always been the alpha dog there, and deservedly so. He's won so many championships. Now you're the new kid on the block. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Dixie and what you've been able to take from him to make you a better driver.
Yeah, but the season is not over. So the man is the man. Dixon is the man. He's going to continue being the man. Without Scott, I don't think that this team would be as strong, and I don't think I would be as good as a driver or as fast as or having as good results as we're having. He's like the biggest piece of the puzzle for the team, and not only for the engineers or mechanics, but for me. I've been able to learn a lot, not how to go fast. I think in IndyCar already, all the drivers, they know how to go fast. Like, we've been through so many series that we know how to go fast. It's how to do it every time, how to save fuel, how to manage the tires, how to manage your car, how to know when you are able to get that podium or when it's better just to stay there, like stuff like that. And to be honest with Scott, it's been great. I've been asking ton of questions. He's always answering. He's always helping me. He's always super happy when things go well for me. So it's not like he's not happy for me. Like, I remember Barber, he was like super happy because I got the first win, and the 10 car got another win. And then at Road America, he just parked the car at the box and just came to the podium with us celebrating. So he's a big part of the team, and he's still third in the championship. He has 6 races left. He's the man on getting this championship at the end of the season. So I'll try and make the things really hard for him, but hopefully one of us can take the championship for the team.
Yogi Berra once said, "It ain't over till it's over." And I think that profound respect you have for Scott Dixon and what he is able to do over the course of an entire season probably makes no sense to order that tuxedo for the banquet yet.
No, for sure not. I mean, he's won only one race this season. We know he's not gonna win only one. The thing is, is he gonna win like 4 or is he gonna win 3? So it's good stuff for the team. We have now 3 drivers in the top 5 in the championship, but all we want is to get one of us winning, and obviously I want to win. I'll do everything I can to get the number 10 at the end of the season as a champion.
All right, I'm going to change things up a little bit because this is your second visit. Thought we'd have some fun with some what I call wild and wacky off-the-wall questions. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. What's your dream ride?
Porsche 911 GT3.
Wow. Okay. Have you ever gotten a ticket out on the highway?
Yes. I got one on my first week of driving in Spain, like as soon as I got my driver's license. Then I had a chat with my dad and I didn't get any more tickets. And then I got only one here in the US, but it was not just crazy. It was that I didn't know.
Yeah, you claimed ignorance because you were from Spain, right?
Yeah, but it was not going fast. It was not going fast. So yeah, I got 2 tickets. Yeah.
Would you rather lose your car keys or your cell phone?
My cell phone. I mean, the cell phone, I can get another one, and I can. Yeah, but not the car keys. No.
Would you like to drive a Tesla?
Yeah, and I'm actually a big Tesla fan.
And the final question that I've got for you is, and we've talked about your favorite food, but I want to know your favorite drive-through fast food.
Ooh, okay. I gotta say it's gotta be Chick-fil-A. I'm a big fried chicken fan. I like the simplicity of Chick-fil-A. I think the consistency is really good everywhere you go. So I really like Chick-fil-A.
As always, best wishes and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
When COVID-19 forced sports to shutter, NASCAR worked tirelessly to construct a model within which they could reopen. They did and provided other sporting entities the blueprint to do likewise. Their efforts earned them Sports Business Journal's 2020 League of the Year honors. Ben Kennedy of NASCAR joins me, and we'll talk about that honor as well as what's on the horizon for NASCAR next.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
NASCAR was recently named Sports League of the Year by Sports Business Journal, and the Advance Auto Parts NASCAR Weekly Racing Series played a critical role in that award. So joining me to celebrate is NASCAR's Senior Vice President of Strategic Development, Ben Kennedy. Hey, Ben, congratulations on this prestigious award.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, it's awesome. And I think it's a testament to all the people here at NASCAR, the entire industry, for being able to pull together. And look, I mean, what we were able to accomplish all of last season, I mean, going on pause, which we had to with the rest of the world for about 9 weeks there, to be able to pick that up with iRacing, create content that was engaging for our fans while we went on pause, get back one of the first sports back on May 17th at Darlington, one of the first sports back in June at Homestead with fans, and then the only sport to get all of our events in last season. To do that in the face of COVID, and then, of course, on top of that, all the new things and innovation that we've had as a sport over the past 12 months or so. New team ownership with 2311, Trackhouse, which just had a pretty big announcement here recently, Live Fast Racing, announcing the new schedule, announcing the next gen car, a lot of momentum that we have going on in our sport, and really exciting time to be a part of it.
Ben, you come from that generation that's far different and much younger and far more creative than I. I had my time, but you're just one of the cogs in the moving parts that create what I like to call the new NASCAR. There's a totally different commitment to all of the assorted stakeholders. How important is it for NASCAR to take such a proactive role in the American sporting scene?
Oh, it's incredibly important. And, I think it's, we have so many opportunities to lean in and be innovative, whether it's from an international standpoint. We talk about the next gen car a lot, which we unveiled a month or so ago. What that is going to bring from not only an OEM relevancy standpoint, which, by the way, I think is fantastic, but from a racing product standpoint, and then, a technology and connectivity standpoint, being able to capture a lot of that data that's coming off the car and create new ways to engage with new fans, I think presents itself to so many opportunities. The new tracks we're going to, Circuit of the Americas, Nashville, Road America, it was so neat to see, to go to those tracks. Not only a ton of, fans that have been lifelong fans of our sport that were so excited to come out to the track, but I met a ton of new fans that have never had an opportunity to go out to a NASCAR race before, came out and sampled us. And even at the pouring rain in Circuit of the Americas, we had a blast. And it was really, really neat to see.
There came about a time when there was a disenfranchisement, so to speak, with where your roots were. And that was the short tracks of America. But through the efforts of a lot of folks there in Charlotte and in Daytona, there is such a direct connection now. And with the help of Advance Auto Parts, the Advanced NASCAR Weekly Racing Series and their programs, how important is that to the health and welfare of NASCAR from top to bottom, Ben?
It's not only important, it's critical. You think about grassroots racing and our roots. And, I think it's one of the neat things about, to your point, our sport going national is we're traveling to places like Fontana, like Watkins Glen, like Homestead Miami Speedway. all across the nation, but to actually come out and be able to sample short track racing, the only way you can really do that is to find a local short track that you can go to that is racing, weekly on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And I think that is really kind of the heartbeat of our sport. And we had the opportunity to go out to New Smyrna Speedway. I have a team down in Daytona that runs late models right now, but I always enjoy going down there during speed weeks because you have so many fans from all over the country that come out for that, but so many local fans too. And really the energy and passion that they bring to the track is really unrivaled in any other sport. So it's always something that's really neat to see. And, even from a driver or team standpoint, it's great to see a lot of these teams, that are coming out of late models, coming out of ARCA, that are now stepping up into the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and even some the Cup Series. So yeah. It's a really good proving ground for all of us.
You raced for quite some time. Do you miss it?
I do. Yeah, it's I certainly miss it a lot. I'm not gonna lie, going to the track today and hearing the cars fire up and roll out for practice, even if it's on Friday, is always difficult. So
it hurts.
I miss it a ton. I get to halfway scratch the itch with iRacing, which is a lot of fun. So and then being on the team owner side, you don't get behind the wheel and get the fire suit and all that stuff, but you still get the competitive edge of it. So yes, I miss it, but really glad to be where I'm at doing what I'm doing right now.
Ben Kennedy, thanks so much, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
There's more to come here on Wind Tunnel, so keep listening.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participate in CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Many thanks to NASCAR's Ben Kennedy, Rick Pannell, the Iron Man of Kingsport Speedway, and IndyCar's Alex Palou for their time this week. I also want to thank you for helping to put Jackaroot's Wind Tunnel podcast series into the top 10% of the entire podcast universe. That honor, according to the podcast host website. Remember that the entire Wind Tunnel series can now be downloaded at your favorite download site. I appreciate your visiting. Look forward to seeing you again next week, right here on Jackaroot's Wind Tunnel.
Today's trip to the Wind Tunnel was brought to you by
Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR.